Bernie Sanders he's always been, I think I said it before and I'll say it again. He's a self-loathing Jew, and there's a lot of them. And you go, why do you say that? I go, well, it's clear as a bell. He's not for Israel. They have to stop this war. Why isn't he condemning Hamas for starting it? What about that? And whatever you think of Trump, the fact is that he's done more for Israel than any president in the history of this country.
Hey everybody, welcome to Is This Thing Working? Episode 122. How you doing, Denise?
I'm good. I'm ready to be here today.
Me too.
Been up early, bright and early this morning, grabbing some content just for our audience here. So I'm real excited about today. But before we start the show today, we want to state these are our opinions and our assertions. If you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? Everything is free. All you got to do is just hit that button and you can follow us wherever we are. Also, you can get to every show and podcast on our website, and that would be www.is-this-thing-working.com. So check us out. Thank you for helping James and I grow. We appreciate you every single day.
Yeah, don't forget to download the Rumble app so you can follow the show there, and you'll receive instant notifications when we go live every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hey, are you looking for your next unforgettable experience? Discover and attend the hottest events in your area with Eventbrite. From concerts to conferences, festivals to fundraisers, Eventbrite has it all. With our easy-to-use platform, finding and purchasing tickets is a breeze. Plus, with personalized recommendations based on your interest, you'll never miss out on an event that's perfect for you. Whether you're a seasoned event goer or just looking for something new, Eventbrite connects you with experiences that create memories to last a lifetime. Download the app or visit their website today and start exploring your world with Eventbrite. There you go. So as we do every day, today's Trump Watch.
There you go. No, Trump has no court again today. But we are going to remind you, our audience, of what a clown show this trial has been. We have an article here who put someone that is very prominent, a very prominent attorney, Alan Dershowitz. He was witness to Judge Merchan's tantrums.
Yeah, he wrote an op-ed in the New York Post, and he says that the headline says, "I was inside the court when the judge closed the Trump trial. What I saw shocked me." And he goes on to say, he starts this out. He goes, "I have observed and participated in trials throughout the world. I have seen justice and injustice in China, Russia, Ukraine, England, France, Italy, Israel, as well as in nearly 40 of our 50 states." He goes, "But in my 60 years as a lawyer and law professor, I have never seen a spectacle such as the one I observed sitting in the front row of the courthouse yesterday." He said the judge in Donald Trump's trial was an absolute tyrant, though he appeared to the jury to be a benevolent despot. He seemed automatically to be ruling against the defendant at every turn. Many experienced lawyers raised their eyebrows when the judge excluded obviously relevant evidence when offered by the defense, when including irrelevant evidence offered by the prosecution. But when the defense's only substantive witness, the experienced attorney Robert Costello, when he raised his eyebrows at one of the New York Supreme Court justices, Judge Merchan's rulings, the court went berserk. Losing his cool and showing his thin skin, the judge cleared the courtroom of everyone, including the media. We all know about that story.
Yes, we do. And he says here the court went berserk. No, the judge went berserk.
Yeah. Well, and
and I get what he's saying, the judge, which is the court, because the judge went berserk, then everybody in the court did the same thing. They had no idea what to do after that because he absolutely went
nuts.
And just for some reason, he says, he said they cleared the whole courtroom. For some reason, I was allowed to stay, and I observed one of the most remarkable wrong-headed biases I have ever seen. The judge actually threatened to strike all of Costello's testimony if he raised his eyebrows again. And just like Dershowitz said, Everyone else in the courtroom was raising their eyebrows, but all of a sudden Costello's was bad.
But the point with that being is, like he says, that would have been an unconstitutional move because it would have denied the defendant his Sixth Amendment right to confront witnesses and raise a defense. That is the whole basis of justice, equal justice,
Equal, yes.
fair justice. Yeah.
And he goes on to say it would have punished the defendant for something a witness was accused of doing. Even if what Costello did was wrong, and it was not, it would be utterly improper and unlawful to strike his testimony that undercut and contradicted the government star witness, which is very important. I mean, that's why you bring on a witness, someone to counter, the other witness.
The accusation.
Yes.
Yep.
And he goes on to say the judge's threat was absolutely outrageous, unethical, unlawful, and petty. And he says, moreover, his effect while issuing that unconstitutional threat revealed his utter contempt for the defense and anyone who testified for the defendant. The public should have been able to see the judge in action. And I totally agree here. Why isn't there any cameras in there? But because this case is not being televised, like he says, the public has to rely on the biased reporting of partisan journalists.
Yeah, but even we're denied that because he kicked everybody out. And one of the good points to bring up with this is the TV cameras were not allowed to come into the courtroom, okay? Now you see him throwing a fit and kicking the press out of the courtroom. But do you realize that the whole time in a courtroom, they've got a camera going the entire time?
Yes, they do. Even when the journalists do report on court proceedings, their accounts must be taken with a grain of salt, he said. He said when you watch CNN or MSNBC, you generally see an account of a trial that never took place. They spin the event so much that reality is totally distorted.
And that's why I brought up the point about the camera being in the courtroom when you're not allowing the media to come in there, because how easily can anything be edited? Just like they do with transcripts when Biden gets up there and says something stupid, then when the press release comes out or the transcript comes out, they've already went in there and changed it. So in this, just like with this, if there's no TV cameras in there too, so that we, the public, can actually see what's going on, all you've got then, if it ever come up and it would ever be released, would be their biased edited version. Because, and I'm going to accuse them of that because shit, I'm not naive enough to know that they wouldn't. They've already, look at the way they've already treated this and tried to cover their own ass and cover their own crimes. You don't think they wouldn't edit that video too?
And the thing about it is, they don't do closing arguments till Tuesday. That's a whole week
Exactly.
for the narrative to change, and to me, with what you were saying with the cameras that the court has in there, because they have transcripts and then they have, cameras in there. So they get to put out whatever they want to put out for the narrative and change the narrative and everything. So to me, this is what it sounds like they're doing. They're producing a narrative for this court. But allowing the public to see the courts in action is the best guarantee of fairness. As Justice Louis Brandeis wisely said a century ago, sunlight is the best disinfectant. That's a great quote. That was in the New York Post. That's what Mr. Dershowitz said here at the end of this article. He said, when I was a kid growing up in Brooklyn, we used to listen to the colorful account of Dodger games rendered by Red Barber on the radio. Occasionally, when I went to a game and brought my portable radio, I could hear how the old redhead, as we called him, colorfully elaborated and exaggerated what was occurring on the field. And that, even back then, he knew what was exaggerated and not exaggerated. Well, so does the American people.
Exactly.
They know when you're telling them a lie.
Exactly.
And I read today that the CNN ratings, since CNN has been covering the trial 24/7, have plummeted because people are tired of it. They're tired of their narrative when they can hear it everywhere else.
Well, and give credit to those at CNN that have actually stood up and said there's no crime here. And they're completely and utterly confused by all of this. And hats off to them, at least.
Yes. But today is going to be a great day because President Trump is going to be in the Bronx.
Rallying in the Bronx, yep.
we will be watching and posting about the rally. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. here in East Texas. So we will be live streaming it. We're going to live stream on Getter and Rumble. So be looking for that. Is this thing working? Also, there are going to be protesters that, of course, in New York City, they're not going to let him get away with having 10,000 people there without them having at least half that.
It's going to get crazy.
It's going to get crazy today, so we're going to be on top of it. I'm glad that he's going there.
Yep.
You know, these protesters that are going to be there, we've read that they're paid protesters, so they're being paid to actually act up, just like BLM and Antifa and all them. Kind of reminds us of the same thing. They're going to start trouble. Is what I think.
Well, and honestly, there again, I'm glad to see that they're going to be there, because as the same as it is with the hush money case and Marshawn kicking the press out of the courtroom, and you don't truly get to see what happens. Mm-hmm. All you get to know is what they're trying to feed you. Okay, same with this. Let them come on out here. Let them show out like they're prone to do, and let them expose themselves for the world to see it today.
That's exactly right.
Let them have
That's
it,
why
man.
we'll be live streaming.
Yep.
You know, and another thing is sometimes these rallies that they're just, you know, only conservative media shows them. The CNN, MSNBCs of the world, they don't care.
They call them mostly peaceful.
They call them they don't want you to see the peaceful rally that President Trump puts on.
Right.
All they want you to see is the mostly peaceful rallies, right?
Right. Yep.
What they call, you know, protesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they spin this in, because now their mostly peaceful narrative has gotten flipped on its head.
Yes, because now they have to. And what President Trump did that was awesome about this whole thing is everybody's going to be covering him today.
Watch them. They'll be pushing dumpsters out in front of it, trying to set them on fire and cause chaos, and then get behind it, filming toward the rally, going, look at what they're doing.
They're going to blame the patriots that are going to be there. Well, you know, the Bronx, I mean, everyone's a patriot. So I am so glad that he's down there in the Bronx. Yep. They are happy he's there too,
and there's already
really exciting.
Yeah, and there's already media reports coming out from the left that says that the Bronx people don't want him there. Yes, they do. There's plenty enough media reports coming out where everybody that they talk to, I think we seen that this morning, 12 scheduled people to talk to about him coming to the rally. But then after that, they even got out onto the street and just interviewed random people. And they said that out of all of those that they probably 25 or more that they did, they found nobody that was against President Trump coming today. No, they're ready for him. They're
excited, man. And honestly, he needs to go to every Democrat stronghold where they think they own the place. You know, and those people down there have a mind of their own.
Yes, they do.
You know, and they can tell that this economy sucks.
And this is the way for them to be heard.
You know, but also yesterday what happened was there was blood vials. Did y'all hear about that? That blood vials were sent to the RNC headquarters in Washington, D.C.?
Yep, they had a lockdown.
They had a lockdown, and it was sent to President Trump in Washington, D.C. yesterday. So we're going to keep you apprised of this. There isn't much information on it. That's all we have so far. You know, it's a lot of conjecture out there right now what's going on. It's kind of weird, but this is weird times, I guess.
Experience the ultimate shipping solution with Easy Ship. Are you tired of navigating complex logistics and wasting valuable time? Say goodbye to the stress of shipping and hello to simplicity with Easy Ship. Our intuitive platform allows you to compare rates from leading carriers, schedule pickups with ease, and track your shipments in real time, all in one place. Whether you're a small business owner looking to optimize your shipping process or an individual sending a gift to a loved one, Easy Ship has you covered. Our user-friendly interface puts the power of efficient shipping at your fingertips, saving you time and money. Don't let shipping challenges hold you back. Try Easy Ship today and discover a new level of convenience and reliability. Visit EasyShip.com now to get started.
Click the link below. On a statement on Tuesday evening, the FBI claimed the authorization of deadly force on former President Trump is just standard protocol. Do you think it was standard protocol?
Well, you know it wasn't. That raised a big old stink yesterday, man, with everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
Had Bongino fired up over it, too.
Oh, yeah. We were fired up, too. Go back and listen to our show yesterday. We talked about the binder. We talked about everything that happened in the past, you know, and that the FBI, who claimed Joe Biden had nothing to do with the use of deadly force on Trump, his family, or Secret Service agents assigned to his detail. And that's totally ridiculous. And we're going to play you a piece of a video from Benny Johnson's show was Stephen Miller. Well, he's a former advisor to President Trump. Listen to what he had to say about this.
The Biden White House and the Biden DOJ not only criminalizes a paperwork disagreement, but to the point of this conversation, authorizes the use of deadly force in the context of settling that paperwork dispute. This is unheard of. And I don't want to hear any BS about how, well, you know, the FBI all the time in conducting various raids has a section of their deadly force. Yeah, if you're going into the house of the Sinaloa cartel and you have 50 gangbangers all armed to the teeth, probably some even have grenades, and they're going to basically shoot anybody who walks through the door, and these are the most merciless mercenaries in the whole world, yeah, it would make sense that there would be a section on using lethal force. You're going to collect a manila envelope from Mar-a-Lago, and you're going to have a section in there on deadly force? Are you out of your mother-loving minds? Don't try to normalize this. Don't try to legitimize it, right? Don't gaslight us. This isn't normal. This isn't okay. This isn't right or left either. This isn't right or left. I don't care if you're right, left, or center. We need to get back to having freedom in this country again, to having liberty in this country again, to having democracy in this country again. We don't want spy agencies running our lives. We don't want censors running our lives. We don't want to have DOJ bureaucrats running our lives. We want a government that goes after bad guys and leaves the good guys alone to live their lives and raise their families. This isn't right or left. This is about having a normal, free, healthy society, or basically having the mindset of these radical left crazies that you see on our college campuses, that you see in the White House, that you see in DOJ, trying to make all of us live under their thumb. And nobody wants that. Nobody who is honest and ethical should want that or would want that.
I couldn't agree any more with him. You know, one of the things that he talks about here is the insanity of what they done. That was not standard protocol. You've never used your FBI to serve a search warrant with Secret Service protection there to guard a former president of the United States. You've never done this. So this is not standard protocol in this situation. I mean, just think of the whole common sense of this situation. The fact that you're going to bring guns to a place where you know you have armed law enforcement personnel there. Like Bongino said, man, that all of a sudden, just because of egos and everything else and the power trips that go on in all of this, you're going to have trouble between them because somebody's going to smart off or somebody's going to reach. Yeah, anything could have happened. Use your judgment in this. Use your best judgment. If you're going up against the cartel, I get it. You got to go in there heavily armed. You were walking to Mar-a-Lago. You're walking up to approach your fellow law enforcement, to approach them. You got to clear them to even get in the building to begin with. You didn't need your guns. You know, and as I was sitting here listening to this too, he began to talk about, you know, using your judgment. You remember back this past year when the old man who was putting crazy stuff on Twitter and they accused him of making threats toward Joe Biden. And remember they went there and how they watched him, you know, for a week or so, and they watched him walk down to the store or walk out, you know, outside, and he'd come outside many, many times. Mm-hmm. They had every opportunity in the world to arrest that man, and they didn't. What'd they do? They showed up at 6 o'clock in the morning with sirens blaring and lights flashing, and boom, they start banging on his door and trying to ram his door in.
You know,
why?
And then why would they do that?
That's
you know,
my point.
Mean, why don't they knock on the door?
Use your judgment. You already know this man is harmless. Yes. You already know that he's not going to do what you are claiming he's going to do.
The FBI come out and they said this morning, I was reading on X, where they come out, it was reported by Jackie Heinrich. She said, well, the Biden administration, the FBI and the DOJ said that they did the exact same thing to Biden when they went to his house to do the...
No, they didn't.
When they went to his house to get the records and everything. But it's just a statement. So I asked, and everyone else below me asked, where's the receipts? Mm-hmm. Let's see this standard operation procedure form that was filled out for Joe Biden.
You're never going to see it.
You're never going to see that.
Because it don't exist.
Yes, no, it don't. But the FBI came out with their statement, and this is what they said. The FBI, like other law enforcement agencies, requires the team leader of any search warrant or arrest warrant to complete a standardized form known as the operations plan. This form, which also must be read by the team leader of all assisting agents, is a reminder of the FBI's deadly force policy. This is a legal requirement to be included on all ops plans and read to agents immediately preceding the enforcement action. The President Biden has nothing to do with it and has zero input on the ops plan. There is an internal law enforcement document and a standardized form that FBI lawyers require before engaging in any enforcement operations, the FBI said. Well, all this does is tell us that you want to force your way into every American's house just because you don't like what they say, do, or protest, or anti-abortion. You know, you get taken for the FACE Act. You get your house totally, just like James said, knocked in by battering rams, and you get feared. I mean, you get afraid. People are afraid of you. And this is why our movement is so important, because when President Trump gets back in the office, Project 2025 is to what?
Get rid of you.
Get rid of you. Take down the deep state. Listen to Steve Bannon right here to say what I'm telling you.
We mock your fear. We want you to fear. It's going to be accountability. We are taking apart the administrative state. We're going to destroy the deep state, and we're going to hold everybody responsible that put this republic in the situation it's in today. Accountability, responsibility. And that will come with authority. The authority of Donald John Trump as the 47th president of the United States.
That video was posted by the Biden-Harris headquarters. And they say that we are going to come in and take away the FBI and the DOJ. You know, yes, that's what we want to do.
The reason that the FBI is coming out now like they are is because this is just another thing that exposes them and exposes the corruption and everything that's going on. One of the things that Stephen Miller said about in his video about this, he said Americans want freedom. Who grants us freedom? Does our government grant us freedom? Government does nothing but suppress your freedoms. We have a God-given right to be free. We have a God-given right to our individual liberties. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The government does nothing but suppresses that fear. And when they see, like Steve said, when they see that, hey, man, the people don't fear us anymore, we know now we've got you scared. You better be scared because, like he said, we're coming after you.
We are. And we're not afraid. We're not afraid to stand up to you. And that's what they're afraid of. Like you said, they're afraid of us. They're afraid of the people stepping up. And they were afraid of us January 6th.
You bet they were.
That's exactly what happened. And it could happen again. And you know what? We have the right. We have the right to stand up and say, leave our house. Leave our house. We have that right.
Yep.
And these January 6 people are being treated like they don't have the right to walk in even. Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.